Secretia Noxious with the Dark Art of Michigan, and we are here with Nonbinary. How's it going, guys?
I'm well.
All right. Well, I hear you're playing the Dark Art of Michigan's October 6th date at the Avenue Cafe. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm really excited. Yeah. I've gone to like almost all the dark arts shows in the last few years since I've been on the east side, and I don't know, I'm really excited because I always like enjoy all the art, all the artists. A lot of my friends are in it a lot, and so I just think it'll be like a really fun time for everyone involved, because who doesn't want to see some dark art and some music, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited because it's like Halloween.
Yeah,
I just love
Halloween's
Halloween.
our thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
Our birthday's on Halloween.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How did I not know that? And how are you like 100 times cooler now? Sean and I share the same August 21st date, but like...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm 2 years older than him, but, you know.
Way.
You guys are on the cusp.
Yeah, we
Leo,
sure are.
Virgo. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we're both
intense.
total Leos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're rising Leos. So.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing a little bit of nosing around about Nonbinary because I haven't got to see you guys live yet, and I understand the what is it, Mirror Boy EP? Is it an EP or full length?
Mirror Boy is my solo project.
Okay.
But we're putting out an EP called Null Gender.
Yes. See
And
that.
I also have I have an album out, and then Nonbinary has an EP out, but we play things live from both. Like,
Okay.
Just because it makes it easier than me scheduling shows or tours or whatever with myself, and then also trying to do it with MK. Like, we'll just do the same songs.
Okay.
We'll just kind of mix it up, depending on the importance of the song to us.
Well, that's cool. That's that I did not get that. So, are you Mirror Boy then?
Yeah, I'm Mirror Boy.
Okay.
And Marshall is Yabaram, which is Mirror Boy backwards.
Yeah, I thought that I was gonna have to say that backwards, and I tried, and I was like, I'm never gonna get that.
Yabrorim.
Yaborim.
Yabrorim.
Rob. Yabrorim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, with a difficult name like mine, you think I'd be able to get that? Okay, Yabrorim.
Yeah.
Zing. Okay,
Perfect.
got it.
Zing, zing, zing.
So when is this Null Gender EP coming out?
I wanted to come out.
We want it to come out on Halloween.
Yeah, but we already play the songs live. Like, we've played them. People know the words to them that like see us live, which is just kind of cool to see who like sees us multiple times and like enough to know words of songs that aren't even out yet.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Is any of this available online?
Not the new stuff. Like, we have an EP out on SoundCloud, but we are doing like an official press release for our new EP. So we have to like we have to like prepare for that, and
We have to get all the rights and like make sure everybody gets credit for like samples used or like whatever.
yeah, like just we have a lot of stuff that we're supposed to do, and then just because we also want it to be on like iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah.
So that because that's just
And
a lot better than using SoundCloud for everything.
Yeah, we want everyone to be able to listen to it, put it on their playlists, and like also we're gonna be having it on streaming websites that are like in different countries and stuff, so that people all around the world can listen to it. Because we get messages a lot from people all over, like Argentina, London, Japan. She's not budging.
If you hear any licking noises, it's the cat.
She's in love with us. Or
She's huge.
They are in love with us.
They're
Oh,
huge.
that's Sean's cat, Fenrez.
So
He's a ham.
He is a ham.
Actually, he's a turkey, but
It's the biggest cat I've ever seen.
just be careful. He gets excited and might.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You can rip my face off.
All right, well, why don't we jump back a little bit and just give us a little bit of history about both of you guys personally, because I know that a lot of people want to know your situation. You're
Yeah.
twins. If no one knows, you're twins.
Yeah.
a lot
People
of
actually don't know
They
that.
think we're together.
Yeah, a lot of people think that we're just dating.
That would be funny to be like that obsessed with yourself. To like date someone that looks identical to you.
Yeah.
I would.
But yeah, like, basically we were born in '97. We're babies.
We were born at Sparrow
Yeah.
on Michigan Avenue.
From Lansing, and we have always been like really close to each other. Like, I've never lived without Ezra. Like, literally, like we've never not lived together and stuff like that. We even lived in a car together once.
What kind of car?
It was a Saturn L300, so it was like really
Alright.
small, but it was actually fun.
Its name was Sex Machine.
Yeah, that's what we
Okay.
named it. But we basically, for most of our lives, we were very interested in like being musicians, and
Like since we were like 2.
yeah, like we always like loved singing and like wanted to just like create things.
We wanted to
And
sing and dance together. Like that's all like we would really do.
yeah, like growing up, like like most kids play like firefighters or whatever, and like we would just like turn on like an AFI CD or a Green Day CD and just sing and dance to it and just pretend that we were like performing live shows.
I did that too.
Yeah, like
Oh,
all
it's
the time.
Always been our favorite thing.
I'll still do that to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Basically, we just always played pretend, and we always pretended that we were people that we weren't. We always pretended that we were boys. We could not be girls.
Yeah.
In any type of pretend world, I was not a girl.
yeah, ever.
And that's like, it was kind of weird because like most girls, when they play house or whatever, they want to be like the mom, and I'm always like, I call being like the little brother.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I will not be a girl.
yeah.
And we were just like, I don't know, like not like even like turned off by femininity, but like turned off, I think, more to like,
The idea of gender in general.
yeah, like I feel like a lot like, because a lot of non-binary or trans people will have like trauma issues or stuff like that, based off of them being trans or whatever. It's usually not actually because they're trans, it's because of the way that like you're raised to not be trans. Like you can't be that way, like you can't be yourself. We weren't like allowed to wear like black clothes growing up because our parents were so afraid that we'd be like gay and goth. So
And, like, I mean, if
we
you
had
look
to
at us-
one up them.
Yeah,
So we were trans and goth. now.
Yeah. Trans and
Okay.
vamp.
Yeah, trans vamp, but like
Well, even like when we were really little, like when we were like 2 years old, we would talk to each other and be like, "Oh yeah, like I don't feel like I'm a girl" and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until we were older that we actually like learned what like being transgender was, and then like came out. Well, Ezra came out like a year and a half before I did.
when I found out what non-binary was, because like I had been researching like transgender FTM, like all the YouTube and documentaries and everything for years, and like just so interested in the whole process of like hormone replacement therapy and like
We were like obsessed with it.
obsessive.
Like every night before we went to bed,
We would watch like hours and hours of these.
And do you think at that point you were too young to participate in these kind of things, or is
I
it
I think
open
we were
to
too.
younger?
I think it was like
I-
it was more like kind of fear, but also just like
We weren't even out as like gay.
yeah,
Like-
like we were just
I was totally like, nope, I'm a straight girl, but we looked like boys like all of our life.
Yeah.
And then like 1 year I was like trying to be a girl, like skinny jeans and a big sweatshirt every day, straighten my hair, that's it. Like
yeah.
as feminine as I would get, and like I just felt really like out of place. I was not happy in any way. Like literally like nothing mattered to me. I was like, I don't care what happens to me. Like I don't want to continue living if this is just who I am, just like based off being the person I was. And it was really hard to understand. It was really confusing for me. Like it's like it still like sticks with me now. Like it's really hard for me to like accept that someone else could find me attractive, regardless if now I can like feel self-love and think that I'm attractive. I don't believe that anyone else could.
Yeah.
And like I understand that they like that maybe they do, but it's like the acceptance of it is really hard. And so whenever I came out, someone had told me what, like they asked me what my pronouns were, and I was like, oh, she, her, and they were like, and I was like, what are yours? And they were like, they, them, and I was like, what? Like what is that? I've never heard of this. And they were like, oh, it's like non-binary. It's like either being like a mixture of both genders, or like you feel like you just don't fit gender, like you aren't a boy and you aren't a girl. And at first I was kind of like, that sounds weird, like I've never heard of this, like I don't know. And then like a week later I was like, well, let me like look into it a little bit. So I was on Tumblr for maybe 10 minutes and I found the term androgynous, and I had been really interested in androgynous modeling and androgynous models like Erica Linder, and I just like read the term for the gender identity androgynous, which is just feminine masculine. It's nothing else. It's not boy, girl. It's feminine masculine. It's just like you and like your feminine energy and your masculine energy. And I was like, immediately, that's me. Put in my Tumblr bio, like no gender, they them, and that's how I came out.
Yeah.
So like
Like,
it's
I
always
didn't
like I
even-
came out a year and a half before MK, but I didn't really do much. I just posted it on my Tumblr, and that was enough for me. The people that were close to me followed me, could see it, and like I started to notice people changing how they like using my right pronouns, and then I would realize that they saw it, and that was like, I don't know, it would give me like a warm feeling, like I was like happy and
accepted, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you didn't have to make an argument about it. You just made the brief statement, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Yep,
yeah,
we
and
get
it was
it.
like
Yeah.
no, like, and those people are like the ones that like I don't know, I really value like people like that, like that just it was never, well, why do you feel this way? Well, what do you mean? You know, it was just. Oh,
I think
okay,
in that way, I think
respect.
like for Ezra it was harder because no one had ever like really heard of it before. But then like for me, I think like the difficult part was just like I was more afraid to come out, and that's why it took me so much longer. But a big reason for that was that like just like being a twin like our entire life, like anything, you know, like we both liked skateboarding and we both liked the same music, and then everyone's like, oh well, you just like it because they like it, you know, like you
It's
just do this,
annoying.
you just do this because they do this. And so like I was really scared that people would just say like, oh, like you're not really like non-binary, like you're not really trans, you're just saying that because Ezra is. And I was like really nervous about that. But then Ezra like said to me multiple times, like, just so you know, like if you ever feel this way, like you can tell me and I'm not gonna like think that you're copying me. Like I know like how it feels. Like I promise you, like I will like believe you and I'll respect it. And then it still took me a long time because then I wanted to figure it out. Like I was like, well, I don't know if I'm non-binary or if I like feel like I'm a boy or like what. So then it took me a while to figure that out as well. But then at one point I was just like, it really doesn't matter.
Well, it was like you came out like by this time I was like saying I think I want to go on hormones, and it was like a year and a half after I came out. It took me a while to decide if I wanted just top surgery or if I wanted hormones and top surgery. My insurance said that they would cover my top surgery if I was 12 months on hormones, so that was like a big push. But I also like looked into them a lot, and like a lot of the changes were things I wanted. Like I was mostly afraid of my voice because I'm a singer. But I like my voice, first of all, way more now.
Yeah,
and
like
especially my singing voice, it's a million times more what I want. And like, I just was like, I know that if I if I've trained my voice with the voice I was born with, I can train any voice I have. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go on this. I don't want hips. I don't want periods. I don't want like any of this anymore. Like this is not me. And I was like,
I came out just like a few days before
Yeah.
you started T. And then I started T 3 weeks after Ezra. So Ezra had to like their like social transition was like I feel like longer
So
than
much
mine.
longer
Like
than
theirs
yours.
was like
yours was just like right into your medical
yeah,
transition.
it was
Mine
like
social.
I like came out and then literally 3 weeks later was on T. Like I instantly like I like went into my therapist and I was like, I'm trans and I need you to write me a letter. Like I need you to write this so that I can like get my hormones. And she was like basically just spent like one session just talking to me about it, and she was like, yeah, like I mean I'm not surprised at all, like
Yeah,
just
you
the way
have
that
to-
you present yourself, the way that you do everything that you do, like
To get on T, you have to go to a therapist. So like I started going to a therapist to get on T.
yeah.
And within like by the end of the first session, I was diagnosed with at the time what was gender identity disorder. Now it's known as gender dysphoria. By no means does it like a lot of people think that that means you have to be diagnosed to be trans or non-binary or like you have to feel gender dysphoria, but that's also just not true. I don't think that everyone does, but that's personally how we felt. And a lot of people have said like, oh, like I saw this video of you explaining your identity. This is like it made us it made me come out or whatever, like, or it like helped me like realize that that's like how I identified, because a lot of people don't think about the fact that you could be medically transitioning, like I'm medically transitioning to male per se, but you can be non-binary. Like you don't have to like say like I'm this gender. Like I don't feel like on the inside I'm a boy. I just know that like presenting and like just like the way that I feel, I know that I like am supposed to look this way, but I'm not. On the inside, I just feel so feminine, and I love that. And like,
yeah, and I feel like also though, like the fact that we can present ourselves more masculine because of being on testosterone and everything has made it a lot easier for us to like
connect to our femininity.
connect to like being feminine, and like
It was repressed for our whole lives.
yeah, like we tried to just like pretend like we, you know, like I didn't like anything like pink or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like that like is like just so like because just everything's gendered when you're growing up, so it was like, oh, like, you know, like girls like cheerleading, boys like football, and it was just like, no, like that's just not how it is, like. And I feel like just the medical transition and being on hormones has made it a lot easier for us to like express ourselves exactly how we want to, instead of just like acting masculine so that other people will perceive us as masculine, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's definitely like an awakening. It's like, it's a crazy experience to like, I don't know, just to like transition at all or come out, because your life is so different after, like, finally being able to, like, I've lived for 21 years, I've lived for 3 years of my own life.
Yeah.
Of what is my truth. So it's like almost being like a child, like I just want to do everything and try everything. I want to, like, I'm not afraid to be seen by anyone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it's just different now. Like, you just know where you're meant to be and who you are. Like, regardless of what anyone else says, you just know that naturally. And I feel like a lot of people don't let, like, that voice come through. But it's,
For
like,
sure.
the happiest, that is happiness to me.
It's
like,
electric feeling when you're just like, dude, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel validated. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm being creative, and I feel like an all right person. So, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people, like on Instagram, then like people can send you questions or whatever, and like 90% of the questions that both of us get are always just like, oh, you know, like how can I like come out, or like how can I like be myself, like how can I like get through like my like really bad like depressive episodes and stuff like that. And it's always like we both are always just answering like, oh, like do what makes you happy, like do what, like no matter what anyone else thinks, like if your parents like won't talk to you ever again, then it doesn't matter, like you don't need them. Or if like your friends don't accept you, then they're not your friends. Like, you know, it's like
that's just the mindset you have to have.
You just have to be like 100% yourself. And that's like we've met so many people who after meeting us like started making music or started making art, and just like so many people have told us like, oh yeah, you guys always have been yourselves, like you guys have never been afraid to like just like show like who you are, like since
funny.
they've met us or whatever, you know. And like they're like, most people like hold stuff back, but you guys just like right away are just so like fine with just doing whatever you want.
Well, I think that like we had like kind of like we have like that advantage now because we had to like hold that back for so long. It's like I felt like it was like a big explosion, like I just burst and I was like, I'm myself,
Yeah.
fuck everything else. Like
Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
just us.
Awesome. So do you feel like in a way, I mean, because you came out sooner, but also not to exclude you, but like
Yeah.
that you've kind of paved the way for a lot of people that maybe didn't know how to access that information or how to access that part of themselves?
Yeah, I feel like that's like honestly like that's what I'm passionate about, is like not really like, I mean like I'm passionate about music. I want to make music forever, but like I want to make music and just have conversations with people that help them open up their mind to like what truthfully they feel or what they think, like what they truthfully have inside. It's like just like understanding like what anyone expects of you is just not what's like, that's just not love. Like love is to expect nothing. So like if someone expects nothing from you, then they truly do love you. Like, so even like strangers, you expect nothing from a stranger, that's at least you're being loving towards them. You're not expecting them to drive a certain way or like to like be a certain way in front of you or whatever, you know? Like,
Yeah, like sometimes it almost feels like the people that you know, like that you don't know as well, that you like would consider yourself not as close to, like the love is actually stronger, you know? It's like you, like I have friends who like I love and care about so much, but like I don't talk to them often or I don't see them often, but like it just kind of shows like how much you actually do care about them, because like if they ever really did need you, then you would be there, but they don't expect you to be.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think that's
and-
like really important.
but I do know that like a lot of people have said like that I've inspired them and that Marshall has too, like to just like be themselves and stuff. But I think like really like my main goal in life is just to like show people like kind of lead them on the path to themselves. Like, not that I can really do much, but I can like just like give them at least the idea, which like putting that idea into your head and then like putting it into practice every day, you can do it. And like I try to explain to people all the time. People think I'm crazy all the time. Like I'm like, no, I've lived this. Like
Yeah.
I know like it sounds crazy, but like it's like
Well, and like just
who
out of
you are.
everyone, like out of just like all people that you're around, like to understand like human connection or like emotions connected to that we literally have always had that one other person, you know what I mean? It's like we like there's like I felt like every emotion you can feel towards a person, towards Ezra, you know, like I've like I
sure.
love them more than anything in the world, and I always will. Like I literally
and we've
could-
hated each other more than anything else.
Yeah, but it's
You
like
know?
I like, but it's like, and I always know that like I'll never like care about another person the way that I care about them. but it's like I've like, you know, like I can also get like more angry at Ezra than I can get anyone else, or like they can make me like, they know exactly like what they could say, and not that they would do this intentionally, but they know exactly like, what they could say to make me more sad than anyone else ever could, you know.
Sure.
Like,
I just mostly think that like
so it's like the, like, I don't know, like the human connection that like we understand is like just different than the human connection that other people do, because like it's always been there.
well, I just also feel like
We're never
kind of
alone.
like coming back, like I feel like inside, like I truthfully feel like it's almost like my duty to help others. Like Ezra, my name means helper. Like I want to just help everyone all the time, and that's what I want to do through art. But like I feel like a lot of people give me like a lot more credit than I deserve. Like, oh, like I didn't know you could identify this way, and then like you did, and like that like helped me like open up and come out and stuff. But like I just want everyone to know that like I just didn't even think about it. I
For
had
sure.
no idea that like I know that there's other people that were identifying that way before me. Like there had to have been. I don't know them. I don't know who they are at all. But like I just was like, I'm just gonna be myself, and this is how I feel as myself, and just doing that alone is what I want to help or try to reach out and teach everyone to do. Like I feel kind of like a teacher sometimes. Like
Cool.
I want to teach other people, help
Yeah.
them.
Was anybody, like, any organizations locally that helped you? Like, maybe did you get counseling through Silas Center, or, you know, did you work with anybody like that?
I've actually,
I wish I would have known about that
Yeah,
at
no.
that time.
I've actually been going to just like the same therapist for like 3.5 years, so I like got kind of lucky. Like I just had already been going to therapy for a long time.
I just went to my family doctor, and I said I want to start testosterone.
Yeah, like it was all just like the doctors we had been seeing.
And she said that she had to get me, and I went in and I said I think I need like a gender therapist in order to do that. She found the only therapist in the Lansing area at the time that had gender studies.
I hear
in
that's
their thing.
pricey.
Yeah, well, I was on my mom's insurance at the time, and it was good. I was on it for like 3 more months after getting on T, and then I was kicked off. But like, I don't know, she didn't really actually know anything about trans people. She knew nothing. So like it was like kind of weird like going to her. Like she wasn't a very good therapist, but she did help me get on T. She just like she basically just would write any letter that I needed or whatever, but like she didn't really know anything about what I was talking about. She didn't understand non-binary at all, or even care to listen to me talk about it or anything. So it was like kind of weird, but it did like, I mean, I got on T. I told my doctor I wanted to get on T, and I got on it within a month, and that's like just
Well, it's
awesome.
good there's that support now, you know?
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I mean, I guess more than anything, like I'm just happy that like we can like help other people do what they want to.
Through music and art, too. you
Yeah,
know?
which was always our goal when we decided we wanted to start making music. Like I mean, we were like very young. Like
We started our first band when we were 5.
yeah, but like when we were like 8 and 9 years old, then that's when we started listening to our favorite band, which is AFI, and just like listening to like all
Like the
the
emotion
songs
behind
and
the
like all the
songs.
emotions and just like all the lyrics like that like we like connected to, and like we didn't really even at the time we were, you know, like 8 years old, we didn't know why we connected to it, but it was important to us and we wanted to make other people feel that way. And like when, you know, I mean, like if you like meet your favorite musician or something, like it's such a great feeling, and like you don't know why it's such a great feeling. You're just like, oh, like this person means a lot to me, and like I don't even know why, but like that's just really important, is that like you can make that big difference in someone's life, you know. Like I mean, they listen to music when they like feel like they don't have anything else, like anywhere else to like turn or something, you
And
know?
like
It's like really important to have another outlet like that.
Well, your artwork is also pretty...
oh yeah,
Incredible.
I just like
Yeah.
kind of I can only really express my emotions through art and music. So like it's something that like has now like it's become something that it's the only outlet that I really have. Like it's hard, it would be hard for me if you said like, if like I was upset or something and you were like, what's wrong? I mean, I could say a million different words, none of them would make sense to you. Like none of them would make sense together. So like if I'm putting all of like that energy into a picture, to me when I'm drawing it looks like an animation that's just like coming together before my eyes. I don't even really know how I'm doing it. Like I don't know how my hand is moving to where it needs to be or whatever. And sometimes it's not, but I just keep going and like keep making it into something. And it's sculpting me basically. I've drawn boys since I was 2 years old. I've only ever drawn boys. I've tried to draw girls. I'm not good at it. And like I practice more now. I try really hard, but it's just like people that draw faces off of their mind and don't draw them off of pictures are normally drawing themselves. And it was weird because I was a girl that was drawing boys, and they didn't look like me, but it's weird because as I get older, I start to look more like my drawings. And so...
I wondered if that picture the art I bought from you was a self portrait or whatnot.
Yeah, I think of them more like reflections, but they could be a reflection of anyone too. Like, it's not really just me. It's like they always have kind of like a weird look on their face. And someone like was looking at one of my drawings the other day and asked, like, what? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what he's feeling. And I was like, well, that's kind of the point of most of my drawings, is like you can't really tell how they feel. Like, you can't really tell, like, they could feel a million different ways based off of the expression they're making. So like, I always write the first thing in my head, or like sometimes I'll write my lyrics on my drawings and stuff, but it's like that's the emotion that the entire thing came from, but on the face you can't really tell what they're feeling. It's all inside. It's not something external. It's not something that other people can tell that you feel that way, but you do. And I don't know, I feel like whenever I make like a background or something, I want it to be kind of overwhelming. Like everything is overwhelming, and I think that everybody feels vulnerable and everybody feels overwhelmed at times, and like those feelings are important to express and not just be made out to be terrible, but to like be made into something beautiful. I try to make anything that kind of like puts me down, I just kind of want to make it a beautiful thing, and then that kind of helps me get through it.
Yeah, to kind of document it, put it out there.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Well, let's get back to this music thing. I want to know what your influences musically are. I kind of have an idea of a couple of them. But
AFI and The Cure.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah, Depeche Mode.
AFI and The Cure are my number two, or are my two like number one influences of all time. But I think like musically, sound-wise, like Black Audio and Depeche Mode, which Black Audio is so much like Depeche Mode. So it's just like electronic, like dancey, but it's also like goth and like kind of emo, you know? Like
what did you electronic erotica?
Yeah.
Electronic erotica is. I just like thought of that one day. I was like trying to think of what I would call the genre for Black Audio. This was before I even knew who Depeche Mode was or anything. Like, I was just like, what kind of music is this? Like, it's not EDM. Like, I can't call it that. It's like electronic dance music, but it's not EDM. Like how we know it, you know? And I was like, I guess I would just call it like electronic erotica because he's talking about sex a lot. But like, I just started calling ours that because I like the groove and like, but most of the time, really, like, we named our band Nonbinary so that we could reach out to non-binary people and help them. But this, The Cure, Depeche Mode.
The Cure, Depeche Mode, AFI, obviously.
Green Day.
Green Day was actually a huge one.
Our first favorite band.
Yeah, we listened to them like nonstop when we were young.
God. I'm trying to say the ones that aren't embarrassing.
Oh, let's get the embarrassing ones out
Well,
there. We
I
all
feel like
have our guilty pleasures.
For my like
Mine are too.
for my solo music too, which is called Flower Trauma, and it's just like the saddest, most depressing stuff ever. But that's like really inspired by like Elliott Smith.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Elliott
And
Smith.
he's like just one of our biggest inspirations.
He's like,
Same.
he wrote my
Love
favorite
him.
song
I
of all
love
time.
him.
I listen to him every night when I sleep.
Yeah, we go to sleep
Well, that
too.
probably
Between the
explains a
Bars.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we listen to Between the Bars on loop all night.
Oh, I love that song, and I really hate that it has anything to do with that movie. But it was like on a
Good Will Hunting?
yeah.
I found it in the movie Stuck in Love. That's how I found Elliott Smith
Okay.
at all.
All right.
And that movie's really good. Really, really lame that I think that, but...
One of my other like huge inspirations that I always forget to mention is Michael Jackson. We were obsessed.
We like used to dance just like him.
Yeah, we used to like know like
We'd dress
his
up like him.
dances and we dress up like him all the time when we were young. Love him
Awesome.
though.
We'd learn them all. We'd know the Billie Jean dance.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and it was his first, like whatever, like I had Michael Jackson purses, shirts,
Yeah.
you name it, and I was hardcore about it.
Yeah.
So,
No, I love.
and the Thriller video, give me a break.
The
it was
You
so
Rock My
good.
World video was like my
The
one.
Grimes also.
Oh,
Grimes is one of our
is
biggest
biggest
inspirations.
Yeah, but the You Rock My World video was like super cool. I just liked how he did like short films.
Yeah.
Because we also
there's
are
stories.
into that.
Like,
It was
I
like
love
the
making
first
films.
one to kind of do that, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
With that Thriller, and it was just
That
like,
wasn't like animated. Like Pink Floyd and like the Beatles did like their movies, but they
Yeah.
were like more animated.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Pink Floyd obviously used real actors too, but a lot of animation.
That was kind of a movie too. 'Cause
It was a whole
so
movie,
long,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I used to watch that every day, actually.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd is one of my absolute biggest inspirations,
Yeah.
lyrically, especially for my solo stuff. It's like to not be conditioned, to not become the stupid fucking same robot that everyone else is supposed to become in America.
Yeah.
It's like not to fall into that American consciousness.
Yeah, I definitely listened to Pink Floyd a lot when I was younger, and probably made me sad a lot.
Oh yeah, I was depressed. I was sad.
All right, well, we're gonna lighten it up just a little bit here. So let's talk about vampires.
Fuck
Hell
yeah.
Oh, I meant to wear my fangs.
Yeah, well, we'll just tell everybody you're wearing them.
Yeah.
We got fangs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm frightened for my life. They're so real.
So realistic.
Yeah. What do you want to know about vampires?
Okay, well,
Our obsession with them?
Yeah, what's the obsession? Are you guys Team Edward? Like,
Yeah.
Actually, we're more into The Little Vampire, which
Yeah.
was our favorite movie growing up. And we used to always tell people that, like, their name was Tony and my name was Rudolph.
Because they're characters from the movie The Little Vampire, and we've always been obsessed with vampires. So like, literally, it's like one of my earliest memories is I cut all my hair off when I was 5 years old, like in my bathroom, and I got caught by my older sister.
Because she was... I just misgendered you.
Because I was just
we'll
trying.
cut it out.
Yeah. I just like wanted to look like the little boy in the movie, and I was like, I'm a
Yeah.
vampire, like I need short hair. Like,
And,
just had,
yeah.
I've always been obsessed with them though. I always thought they were like the coolest thing ever. Like anything that can turn into a bat. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Like, just,
and, like, they sleep in coffins, like,
Yeah.
underground. Like, they can't be touched by the sun.
also, yeah. Well, no, it's actually a myth that they can't be touched by the sun. It is.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We aren't giving out
Dracula
secrets.
walked around in the daytime.
Okay, do we...
I've done a lot of research actually. Like I know a lot about vampires. There's two different kinds. Of course, I can't remember what either of the names are right now, but basically, like being like a real life vampire. Like this is so serious right now. I'm gonna sound like the weirdest motherfucker, but like
Stark Art of Michigan.
Yeah.
They
but,
want to
like,
know all
people
this.
actually message me all the time. They're like, "Oh, like, are you really a vampire?" And I always tell them yes. But what it is to be able to feel and like kind of like the energy that you feel is all based on the people around you. So it's like the empathy that you feel, like you can feel their energy.
So
and
it's
this,
like being an empath.
yeah, but it's also like connected. Like I mean, like it's like if you like there's like the one kind, I can't remember the goddamn names right now, of course, but like the one kind of vampires, and it's like the energy you feel can just like come from like just being around other people, and but then the other kind is like you feel that energy by drinking their blood. So it's like really neat actually, and I just, if you like look into this, it's actually like super cool, and there's like a lot of people that talk about it, but it's just kind of like a big secretive thing because everyone makes a huge joke about it. But it's like I'm like actually so into it. Like I love vampires, and like I like.
I'm definitely 100% vamp. Like,
Yeah.
I am a vampire.
Yeah, no, like we like
It's not
a
joke.
bunch of the lyrics on our new album are about being vampires.
Okay.
A lot of my lyrics in general are about being a vampire, kind of.
Yeah.
Even if you can't tell. It's like the feeling, so, like...
I've always been into it though. Like I don't know, just everything. I like how they dress. I like just like how dark it is, and
I like that they suck blood.
yeah, I like how they can charm people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing.
That's hot.
Yeah.
It is. So is there, you know, we as fans of a certain, you know, entity, I don't know if you want to call a vampire an entity. Or,
Yeah.
but is there a storyline or a book or anything that represents vampires that you're like, dude, fuck right off with that? Because for me,
yeah.
Twilight,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
this whole sparkle thing, get out of here, dude.
I love Twilight. It's
love-
a terrible movie. Like,
Yeah.
I like to watch it like it's a bad movie, but I don't like it for the vampire movie. You know, like, if it's
Yeah.
a vampire movie, that's not good, but if it's, like, a shitty movie, then Twilight's the one to go for. But,
Because
like,
she is somber and sad, so I do feel like, you know, even though she's a terrible role model for girls or, you know, just anybody in general, like, let's just get broke up with and sit around a room forever and, you know,
wait
like,
for the werewolf.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
what a traitor, you know, like, you go from vampire to werewolf, get out of here. You're trash.
I feel like
You are trash. You
Yeah.
are garbage.
And I feel like a lot of movies actually that like portray vampires like I don't like very much. I really like I said,
I
like
really love The Little
I
Vampire.
love The Little Vampire because
There's
it's
the
like it's a
Vampire
kids
Hunter.
movie though, and like there's just like so much into it that's just like I don't know. I feel like they I feel like because it's a children's movie, they aren't like so much making it like seem like so extra like dramatic.
Well,
like,
and
oh,
like the
you know,
vampires
like-
are talking to humans, even though like they aren't like they don't really like to like they're like being really nice to the humans. And like I think that's also like interesting to show like the vampires with other people too. I guess like Twilight kind of does that, but Twilight's just not vamp. But
yeah, but
you
like
know.
it's just I don't know. I just like how like that movie like portrays the vampires and how like
This is like actually
They're, like,
the lamest
actually-
answer ever. This is like for like 5+. Like
Yeah,
this is like a very very
like
small
Jonathan
child.
Lipnicki
like,
from
6 in
Stuart
it.
Little is literally the main actor.
Aw.
And it was before Stuart Little, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like it's
Okay.
like really young kid movie, but it's like I love it so much. Like I still watch it to this day.
We also really love Freaky Friday, which isn't super vamp, kind of is.
but
Jamie
kind of
Lee
vamp-
Curtis?
Jamie
It's
Lee
super
Curtis
vamp.
is
Yeah,
so
she becomes a
vamp.
vampire. Like when they combine, they become a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is my opinion.
So maybe next time we'll just go through every movie and find the way that this is really a vampire.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's
That's,
actually a vampire movie.
Like Kill Be Maimed by
By Grimes.
yeah,
is about
The Godfather, but if they were vampires.
yeah,
Oh,
which is
cool.
one of Grimes' best songs. Like,
Yeah,
this
no,
is so
for sure.
good.
It's hot.
But yeah, I don't know. We've always just been like very, very captivated by vampires, and I'm
More like goth culture. We say like, oh, we're not goth, we're vamp, because like the goth kids on South Park would say like, oh, we're not vamp, we're freaking goth.
yeah.
So we say we're freaking vamp.
yeah.
Nice.
Like it's just like I don't know. I think that I'm just like really interested in vampires and like I mean I'm interested in like witchcraft and
Yeah,
stuff.
like-
But then like I think that that's really cool because like all
you
my
hang
friends.
out with a lot of witches, right?
Yeah. Like
We
and all
love
my friends are like,
witches.
oh, like we're witches, and I'm always just like, well, I'm a vampire.
I'm a vampire and a witch.
Yeah, I'm both technically, but I usually
Change
just say
your
that I'm a
answer.
vampire.
But you can't be a vampire and a werewolf. Are we clear
No,
on
no,
that?
absolutely
no, we
not.
do not fuck
And
with
if
werewolves.
you
What is
are-
that movie that they do it though? Underworld?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, watch it and hate it.
I mean, every movie
Kate
that we've referenced
Beckinsale
has
is
been
smoking in it, but like,
I feel like every movie that we've referenced has been like literally the worst movie on the planet. So everyone's gonna like
Yeah.
listen and be like,
My taste in movies is weird.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
Pink Slip. The band in that movie, first of all, I would just like to shout out Pink Slip right now.
Yeah, best band ever.
Pink Slip?
Yeah,
That's the name
Where are
of their
they
band.
from?
they're from the.
They're from Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Oh,
the band
okay.
in the movie, yeah.
Okay.
the best
Got
band.
it.
I tell people it's my band.
Thank you.
Tight.
All right. Well, is there anything that you guys want to add lastly before we get out of here? Because we've already kept you all day, but like give us anything like futures, plans that you guys have, or
When is this coming out?
when is this interview coming out?
Yeah.
Well, Sean will probably edit it this evening, and
So before Sunday?
yeah, maybe.
On Sunday we play with Dreamwife and Russo at the L Club.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then we play Dark Arts obviously on October 6th at the Avenue.
And then we play a vampire show, like a vampire ball at the Fledge on October 27th.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then we have another show at Max in November that I can't remember the date of or who we're playing with, but we're gonna play at Max.
Awesome. So you guys are getting lots of dates.
Yeah, and we're hopefully after we figure out our personal lives and everything, then gonna like set up a tour.
Yeah, we're like losing our house right now. But
Yeah.
we have to move out, so we're trying to find somewhere right now.
Yeah, but then we're gonna set up a tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's take care of one, and then we'll do on the
Yeah.
Oh, we're good. We've dealt with it 6 times probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, it seems like you guys are in a much better place, so hopefully when you do move, then
Yeah.
it'll be like a solid spot for you to like,
Yeah.
begin your creative future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. Well,
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
Again, my name's Secretia Noxious, and we'll see Nonbinary October 6th at the Dark Art of Michigan's 5th annual Halloween Soiree at the Avenue Cafe. So thanks for coming in, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Ma! Meatloaf!